Okay, we are back once again with another episode of the Weekly Dispatch here on my little YouTube channel or on Serum Audio if you're listening on your mobile device well, I guess you're not going anywhere. I was going to say in your car, but maybe you're listening to it in your office. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Maybe you just miss your car and you're just going to sit out there for a while.
That could be. Or, maybe you're doing your once every 2 weeks grocery run and you're listening. Mm-hmm. And if you are, then I'm really honored that you're listening to us as opposed to any of the millions of different podcasts that you have the ability to listen to. Anywho's, once again, like I said, this is the Weekly Dispatch, and I'm Shawn Tabor, and with me is Miss Sarah Jelinek. How you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing great today, Shawn. How about you?
Pretty good. It's been a week since we last talked, and I'm trying to keep to my word since I called it a Weekly Dispatch, trying to actually make it every week. Which, being, in your house all the time, you get a little more time to do stuff like this every week. You don't have as many distractions.
I thought that was going to be the case, but I feel like because people know I'm home now and working from home, that I have more time to do meetings and stuff. I feel busier than I was before, but that's okay. So.
Yeah, well, I can appreciate that. Well, we have some neat stuff to talk about. Yeah. We had previously talked about, on Serum Audio anyways, we talked about the Wave 1 2020 features. And one of the features that I wanted to talk about, and I thought for our YouTube friends, I'm sounding like my wife, school teacher, for my friends on YouTube. For our YouTube friends, we're going to do a little demo of the case resolution modification that you can do, our customization. Thank goodness you could finally modify the case resolution form.
Mm-hmm. I think I heard angels singing when I did it. Like
there were trumpets. There were trumpets.
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. I don't know how many customers, when you implement cases and you show them, okay, and you just hit resolve case and here's what comes up, and they go, well, we're not billing anything. Yeah, you don't have to fill that in.
No, it's just a suggestion if you wanted to.
Right. Right. But now, poof, it can go away.
I would tell my call center people, you're not going to get an extra bonus if you take more time, or even if you do it faster. You're not. Maybe you are, but we're not writing any checks to you if you put something in there. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's a really great feature.
So why don't we? It is. Why don't we show the folks how exactly you would do a customization of the case resolution form?
Absolutely. So I'm going to share my screen, Shawn. The trainer and me will like to ask to confirm if you can see my Dynamics 365 Customer Service Hub.
It's coming in beautifully.
Excellent. So what Shawn and I are talking about with the resolution is when you are in a case and you hit resolve case, your default behavior is going to be, all right, select your resolution type, problem solved, information provided, enter in a resolution, I fixed it, or whatever your business process requires of you to do that. And then you have other fields like total time, and then this is the one, billable time. You can make this field not required. It's kind of a pain to have that if you don't use the billable time. If you're not doing that, we want to get rid of that. Maybe you want to add another field, a custom field you want to include on here. So what's the process for this? Well, first of all, I'm going to just discard my changes here. You do have to enable the Wave 1 2020 functionality in your environment. And then next, yes, I forgot that step on one of my other environments. But once I do that, you're going to see this really cool setting. The first thing that you do need to configure is within your Customer Service Hub, you're going to navigate to your service management area. And within there, you'll have service configuration settings. When you click here, once you've enabled that Wave 1, this resolve case dialog is going to be a new feature available for you. You can use the standard dialog, or you can use a customizable dialog or a quick create. I chose customizable dialog, and then of course I saved my changes. Now, how do we get the form to get changed? There's great steps on docs.microsoft.com that takes you through, adding a different status value, making sure you have security roles set up appropriately for your users to utilize this functionality. But it is going to talk about modifying our form. So here is my case resolution dialog form. I did add this to my solution. I'm editing the form right now, and this is the information form. So we can see here's our resolution, here's our billable time, here are the remarks. I'm going to take billable time off the form. So I just selected that field, I hit delete, and now I'm going to drag another field over here like, oh, let's do left voicemail. And I can just drag.
Because sometimes you get those 3 voicemails, right? And then if you leave 3 voicemails, you can resolve the case. That's standard practice for call centers.
Exactly. That's a great reason for putting this. So I'm going to put that field here. I'll save my changes. And then I'm going to publish. And once the publish is done, I'm going to go back to my customer service case. And I'm just going to do a quick refresh of the form. Still the same case, still open, still there for me to work with. And now I'm going to hit resolve case. And I'm impatient because I want to see it right away. And where did the bill go? It's gone. It's not there anymore. And then left voicemail is there. So I can mark that as yes. I can do my fixed it and whatever remarks I want to put in there. Save and close. And there is my new case resolution dialog.
That is pretty fancy.
We've waited for so long. It's here. It's a great day. I'm so happy. So happy.
That is outstanding. So, that is essentially cleaning up the case resolution, getting rid of things that you don't need anymore.
Yes, absolutely. It's an annoyance for your users to see it. If you don't use it, why is it there? And that kind of aligns with, I think, what a lot of people are doing when they're at home right now. If they're not fully busy in their meetings every day, and maybe they do have time with the family, we all go through that spring cleaning phase, right? It's nice outside. We want to get rid of stuff. We want to clear, purge old things. And I think that's a perfect thing for Dynamics as well, or even just your Power Apps that you're using, is to do a little spring cleaning, evaluate what's relevant. So Shawn, can you think of something that sometimes you think of, like, okay, I see this and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta remember to remove that or clean it up because we don't use it anymore. Is there anything that pops in your mind of things that you think, you know what, we should be looking at this on a regular basis? And
well, if you've not, or if you've done best practice and you created new apps in your implementations, you might want to hide or disable the out of the box apps based on security roles. Hide those kind of things. That could be something.
Yeah, I think the biggest one I tend to see are views.
Views. Yeah. Go
views
on.
Like this, we need this view at this point in time. Great. You might create a system view, and it's great. Or because we empower our users, we'll say, okay, go create a view, and oh, this is great. I think everybody on my team needs to see this.
Right.
And then you share it with everybody, right?
Right.
What happens when you get fired? Everyone still has that view, and there's no way they can get rid of it.
Right.
It's not easy to. So I think that's a great thing for people to do if you're bored and you have gone through spring cleaning in your home, is to take a look at your views and say, is this relevant anymore? And if it is, do I need to share it with everybody at the company, or can I show them, here's how you create your own? And that way, if I decide I don't want it anymore, I'm not going to get a call from you saying, where is it? Empower other users to do it themselves. So
right. That is an outstanding one. Yeah, views, when in implementations, they typically become that thing you say, okay, before we go live, I got to add that to my checklist to get rid of those views. And one thing or another happens, and you never remember all of them.
Yep.
Never remember all of them. Or like you said, over time they just become superfluous, you know. So yeah, that's a good one. What about areas of the sitemap that a customer thought they might want to use, but no longer want to use?
That's a really good one too.
Or views that aren't in a sitemap that you need in a sitemap because you just created a new app.
Yes, that's a good point as well.
Yeah.
Like, so we've got these wonderful system views that I'm not seeing them.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And it's a good point. So I know this one probably isn't as much, but your forms of just the information that you get there. I feel sometimes in implementations we're just like, all right, I'm going to quick put a Band-Aid on this. I'm going to create your field, I'm going to put it in dev, and I'm going to push it over, and it's there because you asked for it.
Right.
But are people actually using that? Who's responsible for populating and maintaining that data? And you get someone that says, I'll do it, and it never gets done. And it's just sitting there empty. So do you have situations where you just occasionally say, all right, hey everybody, let's go through this form and see, is this relevant now? Is the data still relevant? Or do you have like KPIs or reports that say, to help highlight that?
I try to use on the implementations I'm doing when we have existing data. So let's say we're upgrading or we're enhancing. I try to go in and use, and I'm trying to remember the tool in XRM Toolbox.
It used to be attribute usage manager or something like that. It's
I'm firing it up to find it, but didn't it used to be something detective a long time ago?
So is it the one that shows you your fields and then the percentages of them being used? Yes. I thought it's attribute something manager, but I could be wrong.
Oh, you're probably right. I probably don't remember it.
But I can, if I see it in the list of apps or the plugins in the XRM Toolbox, that's the one. But you're launching it faster than I am, so that's okay. But that's one I always show.
Attribute usage inspector.
Inspector. I like
I knew it was like detective.
Yeah,
there's usage at one point it was detective. Yeah, attribute usage inspector. So
love that tool.
Yeah, that's a great tool. There's a ton of for spring cleaning. There's a ton of XRM Toolbox tools to use to do that. Check who has what security roles.
Yep.
Check who has, check which you could do some cleanup on views in terms of maybe you never got around to standardizing the columns. You can use the view layout replicator. Yeah,
those new fields that you may add that are not getting included in your views, or I love the standardization of that. I think it's am I thinking it's the metadata document generator or something like that? You can look at it and see are all these any fields on the form, and there's some great tools on that. It's just taking the time to do it, I think, is key. To set aside some time and get your stakeholders involved and say, okay, remember this field that you asked for? There's nothing in here. Can we not have this on the form? Or if it's not there, why is it not getting used? It's just great conversations to have.
Exactly. And this is a good time to do that spring cleaning, because I mean, not a lot else I'm going to be doing.
Exactly.
It's either that or Halo. I'm going to play Xbox or something, so I might as well make my time useful. So.
Well, and this conversation came up because I do help administer our internal CRM, and I was looking and I was seeing what are these are old opportunities that are in the system, and I'm not in sales. I'm a consultant, so I deal with it after it gets sold. But like some of these are sitting here for so long. Why is that? And I think part of that spring cleaning is creating views that surface those records that haven't been touched. That I love with your advanced find that you can do, like the not query that, or trying to find the right words. It's late tonight. But you can do show me cases that don't have activities, that don't have related records in that case. And I think creating queries like that and creating dashboards and views for your management team to see, hey, these records have been sitting out here. We really need to do something with them. And that's part of it, not just your entity structure or your form layouts and your views, but it's also the data itself. Is this really helpful to us anymore? If not, who's going to take ownership of cleaning that up?
So do you think like 5 years from now, we'll have the same conversation about, oh, you got to clean up those embedded Canvas apps?
Yes, I think so.
Did I need that one on this case form?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Because I'm sure there's going to be so many better ways that we can do things.
Well,
like, do we still need to use a case resolution?
Yeah, HoloLens will be a nickel a piece.
Right. They're gonna be giving them away, right? Because
it's just
HoloLens version 2 they'll be giving away, but who knows what version we'll be on by then.
Well, that's when we turn into you saw WALL-E?
No.
You haven't seen WALL-E?
I know.
Okay. Well,
how dare I call myself a geek, right?
No, that's all right. In WALL-E, it's the future, and Earth's basically inhabitable, right? And all the humans are on these like wheeled chairs, not wheelchairs, but wheeled chairs. Like there's yeah, and they get food fed to them by robots and stuff. We'll be that, and
well, actually, by that time, Shawn, we probably will, but hopefully the younger generations won't be.
Yes, but we will be in the wheelchair, not the wheeled chair. Yeah.
Right. So. Yes.
Anyways, I digress. But yes.
It's okay.
But yes, spring cleaning, optimal time to do that. And, it's the season as it is spring.
Absolutely. So I know I keep saying this on our previous podcast, but that was my goal, is to kind of just create some suggestions for people that are interested in doing that. What are some things you can look at? I think the biggest pet peeve is the shared views, in that it's a really great feature, but I think it could be over abused. It can really clutter things up for people. So make their lives a little bit easier, and just at least show them a screenshot of how you built it, and they can figure it out. Right. If not, go over to Teams. Get a meeting like this. I can't say go to their desk and show them anymore, but hop on a Teams call like this, do a screen share like we just did, and guide them through that process.
Right. And speaking of Teams, given everything that's going on right now, I did want to mention, I'll put the link to the page in the show notes. Given with everything that's going on with the COVID-19, you can now get a 6-month free trial of Teams. I think it's the reduced version of Teams. I don't think it's the full version, but that's going to be all in the details. But if you're not currently using Teams, this is a great time to check it out, see if it works for your organization. Free of charge from Microsoft for 6 months, so great time to try it. So
yeah, I was not a Teams person to begin with, but I've become addicted to it. And from a security standpoint, especially since we're all working from home, I know people are jumping on the Zoom bandwagon, but just think of security from your data perspective. I know that there are some vulnerabilities that have been found in Zoom, and I'm not saying that Zoom's a bad product. It's a great platform for having multiple people and getting to share your video. Microsoft's continuing to send updates for Teams and add some great functionality, but from a security perspective, if you're using Microsoft products right now, it's a great, nice integration. Security's tied in. Definitely look at it. It's great for collaboration, and I think you'll find that you can't live without it once you put it in there.
So much better than Skype.
Yes.
So much better than Skype. Oh, I used to love Skype too.
Yes, I was a Skype fan. I didn't want Teams because of that, but
hands down better. Hands down better.
They have drastically improved the interface for Teams and the performance, more importantly, for it.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Exactly. All right. Well, I think that does it for our another episode of the Weekly Dispatch, and I appreciate you coming on again, Sarah, and sharing those handy tidbits.
Yes, and since we're recording these meetings on Teams and we can share our screen, I think we should do more of these, Shawn. I'm looking forward to it.
I think so too. So once again, tell everybody where to get to you on the internet if you should choose to be gotten.
You can visit my website, sarahjelinek.com. I know it's going to be a tough last name, but if you look for @SarahJ_ND on Twitter, I'll be there, and you can always connect with me on LinkedIn. Happy to chat with you there as well.
And I'll put all those links with the correct spelling of the last name.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Well, luckily YouTube Studio lets me edit after it's published, because I had to do that in the last video. But this time I'll get it right. And once again, I appreciate you coming on, Sarah. This was fun.
Thank you, Shawn. It's always great to get a chat with you. So have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Thanks so much. Yep. Thanks so much for either listening or watching, and we'll see you next time.